It started with a sound, a sharp, hollow tapping echoing through the quiet morning. At first, you ignore it. Tap, tap, tap. It's faint, almost rhythmic, easy to dismiss as something ordinary. Maybe a loose branch, maybe construction in the distance. But then it happens again the next day, and the next same time, same place. And suddenly, it doesn't feel random anymore. Tap, tap, tap. You step outside, coffee in hand, scanning your backyard. Everything looks normal. Trees swaying gently, birds fluttering in and out of view. Nothing unusual until you hear it again, louder this time. Tap, tap, tap. Your eyes snap toward the source, and there it is. A woodpecker, clinging to the side of a tree, or worse, your house, and it won't stop. Now here's the strange part. This isn't just noise, it's a message. Welcome to Backyard Bird Mysteries, where the ordinary suddenly feels a little less ordinary. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden world of birds right outside your window, make sure to subscribe, because what you're about to hear might change the way you look at that tapping forever. Because that woodpecker? It's not just pecking for no reason. There's always a reason. And once you understand it, you might not be able to unhear it again. At first glance, woodpeckers seem simple. They tap trees to find food. That's what most people think. And yes, sometimes that's true. But when a woodpecker keeps coming back, tapping again and again in the same spot, especially on your house, your roof, or even metal objects, that's not just feeding, that's communication. And it's loud on purpose. You see, woodpeckers don't just use their beaks to eat. They use them to speak. Every rapid burst of tapping is actually called drumming. And drumming is how they send signals across long distances. It's their version of a broadcast, a declaration, a warning, or even a challenge. When that woodpecker is hammering away at your wall early in the morning, it's not being annoying for no reason. It's announcing something. This is my territory, and it wants every other bird in the area to hear it. The louder the surface, the stronger the message. That's why your house becomes the perfect stage. Wood amplifies sound. Metal makes it echo even more. To a woodpecker, your home isn't just a structure. It's an instrument, and right now, it's being played. But here's where things get even more interesting. Sometimes, it's not about territory at all. Sometimes, it's about attraction. During breeding season, that tapping becomes faster, louder, more intense. It's no longer just a warning. It's a performance, a signal meant to impress a mate. Think about that for a second. That relentless drumming echoing through your backyard? It might actually be a love song, a wild, echoing, impossible to ignore love song. And if that's the case, the reason it won't stop is simple. It's trying to be noticed. Now imagine this. You're sitting inside, hearing that tapping over and over again, wondering why it's happening. Meanwhile, just outside your wall, a bird is essentially shouting into the world. Look at me. I'm strong. I'm here. I matter. And your house is helping it do exactly that. But there's another layer. One that most people never consider. Because sometimes the tapping isn't just about communication or attraction. Sometimes it's about frustration. Yes, frustration. Woodpeckers are highly territorial creatures, and they don't always recognize reflections. If your home has shiny surfaces, windows, or even certain painted areas, the woodpecker might see something strange. Another bird, a rival, an intruder. And it reacts the only way it knows how, by tapping, aggressively, repeatedly trying to drive away something that isn't even real. So when that tapping becomes almost aggressive, almost angry, you're not just hearing noise. You're hearing a bird trying to defend its space against its own reflection, and it doesn't know when to stop. Now here's where things take a slightly darker turn, because in some cases, that tapping means something else entirely, something hidden beneath the surface. Woodpeckers have an incredible ability to detect what we can't see. Insects, larvae, tiny movements inside wood. If a tree or even part of your home has an infestation. The woodpecker knows. Long before you do, that tapping might not just be communication, it might be investigation, a search, a sign that something inside the wood is alive. And if that's the case, the bird isn't the problem. It's the warning. Think about that the next time you hear it. That persistent tapping might be telling you something about your environment. Something you haven't noticed yet. And the woodpecker? It's just responding to it. But here's the most unsettling part. Sometimes, the reason it won't stop is because it's working. If the sound carries well, if no rivals challenge it, if a mate responds, if food is found, there's no reason to stop. So it keeps going, day after day, tap after tap, until the message is fully delivered, or until something interrupts it. And that's why ignoring it rarely works, because to the woodpecker, this isn't background noise. It's purpose, it's instinct, it's survival. And you just happen to be part of the environment it's using. Now you might be wondering, will it ever stop? The answer is, eventually, but not always quickly. Sometimes the behavior fades after breeding season. Sometimes it stops when territory boundaries are settled. Sometimes it ends when the bird simply moves on. But until then, that tapping will feel like a mystery you can't escape. And maybe that's why it bothers us so much. Not just because it's loud, but because it feels intentional. Because deep down, you know it's not random. And you're right, it never is. Every tap has a reason. Every rhythm has a purpose. And once you start listening closely, you begin to realize something strange. It's not just noise anymore. It's a signal, a story, a glimpse into a world that's been happening around you all along, unnoticed until now. So the next time you hear that woodpecker tapping, don't just ignore it, pause. Listen, because that sound, it's not just coming from outside, it's coming from a hidden layer of nature, trying to be heard. And once you understand it, you'll never hear it the same way again. If you want to uncover more hidden bird behaviors and backyard mysteries like this, make sure you're subscribed to Backyard Bird Mysteries. Because there's always something happening out there that most people miss. And sometimes, it starts with something as simple as a tap.